What went wrong in this band's career that they decided to build an entire avant-garde art piece that basically almost sounds like a little piece of heaven all the way through? But it's also just bombarded with terrible production flaws, and not to mention that the album's muddy quality also feels almost synthetic, and its feel just deviates so far away from what this band originally used to be in the realm of the rock and metal sphere. I thought that this was a great dedication to Taylor Hawkins. Dave Grohl did most of the drums. I think he actually did all the drums and all the instrumentals on this album. And I don't really want to give it like a full score, but I can say that it was a great dedication, and that's all I'll say. What a journey it's been for Jelly Roll this past year, with Son of a Sinner being one of my favorite country songs of all time. That amazing vocal timbre with his southern drawl mixed with his admittedly at times very simple production. But what I think really helps with this album is the songwriting and the storytelling of Jelly Roll. Jelly Roll will have you drawn in with a story in mind or a thought on his mind, like, for example, on the song Church, a very don't judge a book by its cover track, but I think the subtlety behind Jelly Roll's lyrics and his songs is what really transcends him into one of the best country artists of the modern times. Pretty generic punk album, even for Rancid, and that's it. Not really a lot to mention besides a couple of decent to listenable tracks. Back of the tour bus on the way to Phoenix. Currently 2 a.m. look like Toosii has a good future ahead of him, as I didn't think that this album was really too impressive for a debut, especially on something like Capitol Records. But I think that his brand of very intimate, soulful rap is appealing and especially intriguing for a mainstream audience. His reverberated vocals and the almost gentle, passionate singing is not too distracting either. The one thing is that we have to mention is that we did not need 3 different fucking versions of Favorite Song, especially Future's version. Future didn't even do shit on that one. He won't come outside the crib, stay in the house, he just be Korean. Hefe knocking patients now with scripts, Dr. Cavor. Okay, this is definitely a step in the right direction for BabyTron. I reviewed Bin Reaper 3 at the beginning of the year and thought that it was pretty underwhelming. This album has Tron actually being himself, and the instrumentals are also pretty interesting as well, and a lot of weird ideas to add on top, but his deadpan delivery and his witty punchlines is like the opposite of why I love Ski Mask, but I still love both of these artists either way. Also, on 100 bars, he does 100 bars, and he counts to 100 with them, and it may not be impressive as LP on the last Huzzah, disguising the numbers and all that, but still gotta give him credit because that is not an easy feat. I'm gonna take this time to tell you guys to go check out my recent video of the punk rock band The Regrets that I saw in Philly with Youngblood, because if you need a decent female-fronted punk band to listen to, go see that. But this album is the complete opposite of why I like The Regrets. This album legitimately hurts my ears due to the vocals, and not in an abrasive way in metalcore with the screaming or even a scream for a high-energy rock track, but the vocals just do not sound good at all, and the over-compressed guitars do not help Dreamwife or Social Distortion at all. I'm feeling sexy. If I keep on giving them lipstick and kill, they gon' have to come and arrest. I can for sure say that this isn't my favorite project from Janelle Monae, but this is a great album in her discography. The ever-dynamic personality shines through with her great inclusions of mixes of soul, funk, modern pop, jazz, and R&B with the combined swagger that really has you believing like she was the baby in the spring of 2019. All the instrumentals I enjoy very much, and Monae's ever-present vocal performance has not missed a day since Dirty Computer back in 2018. Stop it, pocket profit every time I push a pen, but I do not push a pen. Fuck a pen. One half of the duo of Run the Jewels, Killer Mike, drops his first solo project since rap music all the way back in 2012. Killer Mike litters this album with memorable flows and deliveries that keep you hooked all the way through. Mike really is just like track 5 on this album, because he's just talking that shit. He really doesn't have a set theme for this project. Mike has always been an outspoken political activist against subjects like systemic racism and police malpractice and brutality. And really, you also get some songs like that where Mike just runs his mouth about what's on his mind to glorious effects. But then sometimes he is just hungry and ready to eat up the track, and honestly mixed in with the jazz / R&B samples with Mike just going crazy, and he's got some of my favorite rap songs of the year so far. Down by Law, Shed Tears, Talking That Shit, Slumber, Exit 9, Motherless, Don't Let the Devil, High and Holy, and probably my favorite track, Scientists and Engineers, just for the pure posse cut of Aaron and Kane, Future, Killer Mike, and Andre 3000 all on the same track. It's weird, but I love it.
Talking about all of these fuck niggas that always had some envy, you know they envy us.
So Gunna dropped an album. I decided to check out local favorite duo Origami Angel for the first time, and despite this being a quite short album, I love their mix of pop punk and new wave emo that they pushed into this Lightning in a Bottle album. All 8 of the songs are either really great to decent. Picture Frame is just as catchy as hell, reminds me a lot of Joyce Manor actually. Also love the album art, if I'm correct that is Ocean City, and listening to this album while also seeing the art is quite compatible. It feels like a rainbow on the beach or something, I don't know.
Bitch, I got bops. Yeah. Bitch, I got bops. Yeah.
I did not like this album. I thought that this album suffered from too many ideas and not enough time into the actual sound of the music. I do want to say that Coi Leray's vocals have somewhat improved, even if it's just a little, and her personality is not so in your face this time as opposed to her last project that I reviewed a while back. She wanted to try every type of genre for this album, and she was just really spitballing and hoping something would stick. I do somewhat unironically like Man's World, as the James Brown sample and the very simple auto-tune vocals could be compared to Melody Martinez's new project, but Coi Leray is just a rapper and not a terrible person, so I'll give her a pass. I'm going to keep plugging these performances because there are a lot of them. Check out their performance on my channel from back in April, and I should have something planned for you guys in August, so keep an eye out for that. But Honey Revenge drops their first studio album, and for a debut, it's probably one of the best I've seen in years. I fell in love with this band even before the album dropped, and the pop rock duo of Devin Papadol and Donovan Lloyd create some of the catchiest and relatable bubblegum rock that really needs more of a resurgence. Airhead, Seeing Negative, Are You Impressed, Favorite Song, Rerun, Murphy's Law, Distracted, Worst Apology are just some of my personal favorites off the full release, and probably will be somewhere in my top list of the year in a few months. I know some people might be a little bit thrown off of collab albums. See Ed Sheeran's 2019 collaborations project for an example of how to do it wrong. But in my eyes, I feel like this is how you should do it correctly. For anyone who doesn't know, This Wild Life is a 2-piece acoustic band that really popped off in 2011 when they dropped their first EP and they got on that year's Warped Tour. But they've always been a go-to band for the acoustic tracks, as I mentioned, with History from their 2014 project being one of my personal favorite songs ever. But I do admit I haven't done my deep dive yet of This Wild Life, and I feel like I need to after listening to this new project. The features list is also pretty solid. Brian from I Prevail, Rory from Dayseeker, William Ryan Key from Yellow Card, Josh from Magnolia Park, Aaron Marsh from Copeland fame, Andrew Wade, who's basically produced every single fucking album at this point, Oliver Baxter from Broadside, and Brian from the Home Team, who is also on the channel. This album was overhyped, as usual, with a Lil Uzi album drop, but I can admire the diversity of Uzi trying different genres and really just experimenting with what sounds good. But unfortunately, with a lot of the songs, I feel like they just fell short of being enjoyable, or they were just missing that one little thing that really needed to push it. Like, the first 12 tracks of the album, aside from the opener, I didn't enjoy too much. I thought it was pretty bland. But the second half of the project is where he really starts to get experimental. I mean, Nakamura is literally a sample of Shinsuke Nakamura's entrance music, and I mean, I can't help but love it, honestly. I'm a wrestling head. Also, the worst cover of Chop Suey I've ever heard in my life. Like, that was abysmal. Werewolf, also pretty underwhelming. It could have been so much better than what we actually got from that, especially when we saw Uzi on Bring the Horizon's Amen, and it wasn't even a bad feature at all. The end with Baby Metal was pretty dope, though. It also sounds like an anime rock rap track. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed this album review for the month. I know I've been getting really late with these, but I don't know, just give me a break. I'm trying my best here. But I hope you guys have been enjoying the influx of concert videos recently. Craig Owens show, Falling in Reverse, and the Youngblood shows. Make sure you check out all of those on the channel. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I will talk to you all later.